attention to is the Employee Benefit Trust. The use of the Benefit Trust enables employee-owned firms to avoid many of the problems which beset workers' cooperatives. Take a situation where the owner of a company wants to pass on ownership to the employees of his or her company. That owner can set up an employee benefit trust. And the essential mechanism is that the owner passes shares to the benefit trust in return for a payment from the trust. Now, where does the trust get the money from? Well, it may get it from a bank or a venture capitalist in the form of a loan, which it has to repay over a period of time. Or it may be that the owner donates his or her ownership, or it may be, as has happened in a few cases, the owner in effect loans the money to the benefit trust to acquire shares of the owner. But let's assume that the bank has financed the employee benefit trust activities. How does it repay the loan? Well, the loan is secured against the assets and the income stream. Profits from the company can pass through the benefit trust in terms of dividends on the shares and be used to repay the loan. Meanwhile, the employee benefit trust may either retain shares in the trust, as in the John Lewis model, or it may make them available to individual employees. It might donate them, or it might sell them by subscription. Different firms have different models. Some firms use a combination of all of these. But the key thing about all this is that employees do not have to subscribe in the first instance. So the conversion is not necessarily dependent on the money belonging to the workforce. So the wealth and credit constraints are less problematic. Indeed, the buyout can be organised by the owner rather than risk-averse, ill-informed and cash-strapped workers. The management structures can remain intact, but meanwhile, because employees receive either a profit share or they receive the shares themselves, there are incentives in the form of dividends or the potential for capital gains. What happens when employees leave? Is there a danger of control spreading outside the firm? Well, no, you can avoid that by enabling the trust to repurchase from leavers and then distribute them, if you so wish, to a new set of employees. So a lot of the problems that you find with the worker cooperative model are not experienced in the same way with what I call the new employee ownership. However, there is an issue of what are the most appropriate governance structures. I'm not going to deal with this, but it is one of the big debates in the employee ownership world. But to reiterate, it means that firms needn't be undercapitalised, it means that employees do not need to assume undue risk, and it means that there can be appropriate incentives. And that, in my view, is what makes this a viable form of organisation.